today I'm going to give a little chat about some vintage paperbacks, several of which I have read, but I haven't read all of the copies I've got in my library yet. Now, back in the day, you had things like film and TV tie-in novels, because we had no streaming back then, no DVDs, no VHS, so a film would run in the cinema, and it'd be a big hit, and every now and then it would pop up on television. But the only way for fans to follow the adventures of their favourite characters then was in the paperback books, and the film and TV tie-ins were quite popular. Now, the years, this is a British printing by Star Books of the novelisation of Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry movie, The Enforcer. So that's basically a film tie-in movie. I've got several more, but I can't quite put my hands on. Here's another one. Play Mister for Me. Again, a film TV tie-in. This is a movie from the early 70s. This book was published in the UK. This is a UK version. And it says that this was printed in 1985. It was first printed in 1971, which wouldn't have been long after the movie of the same name. But let's take a character such as Dirty Harry as the character in The Enforcer. That was a popular character. Now, in the original Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry films, he did Dirty Harry, then Magnum Force, then The Enforcer. Now, after that, he said he wouldn't be doing anymore. I know he later came back and he did Sudden Impact and the Deadpool. But after The Enforcer, Clint said that's it, he's finished with the character of Dirty Harry. So Warner
Don't you go try to grab me? A friend of mine was up about 20 floors with a jumper a few years ago. And jumper grabbed him, and they went off, and 20 floors down, just mashed him all over the paper. Couldn't tell which legs were with which, and which arms were with which, and it was a terrible mess. I tell you, I almost threw up myself. I'd just like your name and address, that's all. Why? Well, like I said, it's such a mess down there afterwards, and it makes identification impossible. Even if they find your driver's license, all that blood and everything.
Dirty Harry. So Warner Brothers, who owned the movie franchise, also had a publishing arm in which they would publish paperback story, but the novels based on their characters. And so what they did was they started a series of Dirty Harry novels. This is not based on the screenplays, so these were original novels using the character of Dirty Harry. Now, there were 12 books published in the series, written by Dane Hartman. Dane Hartman was a pen name, a name that was owned by Warner Brothers, a name that had been dreamt up in order to give a credit to the Dirty Harry novels, but the Dirty Harry novels were written by a range of writers. Now, I've not got them all. There were 12 published, but I think only 6 of them made it over to the UK, and I've got 5 of those 6 here on hand to show you. I have got the first 6 titles, but for some reason I can't quite put my hand on one. So the first one was Dirty Harry, Duel for Cannons. As I say, written by Dane Hartman. Dane Hartman, of course, being a pen name. And this is the first all-original Dirty Harry novel. This is, again, a British version by New English Library. But in the US, where it originated, it would have been published by Warner Brothers Books. And if we look in here to get the original copyright, it states that the copyright 1981 by Warner Brothers Books Incorporated, and it was first published in the USA in 1981 by Warner Brothers. So basically, this book gives you an all-original Dirty Harry adventure. I've read this one, and it was okay. It's very pulpy, which is what you'd expect. But as anyone knows about the Dirty Harry movies, they had a lot of violence in them, a lot of sensationalism, and these books sought to replicate that. So this is the first lines you'll read in this novel. So chapter 1. Boopsy's head exploded. 1 second the cartoon character was bending down to shake the little girl's hand. The next second, hunks of thick painted plastic were flying off in all directions. Sheriff Boris Tucker didn't see the bullet smashed into the character's head. The person in the boopsie suit had just leaned in front of him to talk to his daughter when it happened. All Tucker knew was his little girl was screaming in pain, and that their vacation was over. It was only after Boopsie fell over and Tucker had pulled his Bulldog .44 special from his waistband that the sheriff noticed the gaping holes in both sides of the character's head. So there's quite a lurid opening to that novel. So that was the first one. The second was Death on the Docks. Then we have book 3, The Long Death. These are lovely books to own in a modern collection, you know. It's so pulpy, just wonderful. Again, with The Long Death, the original copyright inside said that this was first published in the United States of America in 1981 by Warner Brother Books. So that was the third, The Long Death. Then came number 4, Mexico Kill, which I haven't read this, but I'm presuming that this features Dirty Harry going over to Mexico. Now I haven't got book 5 on hand. I've got it in my collection, but I don't know where it is. So book 6, which is the last one of these Dirty Harry novels I've got, is called City of Blood. And the blurb tells us that a vicious sex killer is leaving a blood-stained trail through the streets of San Francisco. Dirty Harry Callahan is back, the magnum maverick from homicide, who blows away the rules, and when the rules get in the way, Dirty Harry books from back in the day. I mean, these days they've got a certain charm and a certain collectability because, of course, the Dirty Harry character is so popular. I'd like to get the other 6 books to have the complete 12 run, and I've also got several more of these TV tie-ins, the books. I've got Sudden Impact somewhere. There, I've got The Enforcer there, and Play Misty for Me, and believe it or not, I've also got a novelization somewhere in my collection of one of the comedy films Clint made with an orangutan. It's either Every Which Way You Can or Every Which Way But Loose. But anyway, that's a short look at Dirty Harry, Sudden Impact, which was on the bottom shelf over there, with a 1984 copyright by Warner Brothers Books. So again, this is a novelization rather than an original novel based on the characters, so that is Sudden Impact. And as I say, I would really like to get the remainder of these titles, particularly the 12 original Dirty Harry novels. I've only got the 6, so I would love to get them. Okay, now, so I've got it online here. Now, the actual 12 Dirty Harry novels were, as I said, book 1, which I've showed you was Duel for Cannons, then you had Death on the Docks, The Long Death, The Mexico Kill, Family Skeletons, and City of Blood. That takes us up to book 6, so the remaining 6 were Massacre at Russian River, which was published in 82. Then you had Hatchet Man in September of 82, and also in September of 82 you had The Killing Connection. The Blood of Strangers was number 10, Death in the Air was number 11, and number 12, the final book, was Dealer of Death. Now, the last 3 books there were all, and you can see how quickly these were written, so they were jobs for hire, where writers were commissioned to do the novels, and it was a quick turnaround. You know, they were probably paid a set fee, and probably there were no royalties involved because the copyright would fully exist with Warner Brothers Books. So I'm not sure what deal those writers would have had back then, but I don't think it would have been that generous, which is not it's not that different today for writers. You know, you're struggling along to making money. But anyway, that is the Dirty Harry novels by Dane Hartman, who was actually a team of writers using the pen name for Warner Brothers Books. But that's just a quick look at those. And if you found this interesting, then please like, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel to help the video grow. And come back again when I'll talk about more vintage paperbacks, new books, or I may even do a whiskey review. But I'll see you soon.